Hello and welcome to Market Fatafat. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll tell you one of the most buzzing stocks where volumes are high, price action is high, and over the 30 minutes, we'll spot the big trends in the market. With me is our entire team over here, as well as a whole host of guests that will help you analyze these stocks. Vivek is right here besides me in the studio. You have Kunal Botra, Jayesh, as well as Siddharth Bhamre, who is now joining us, as well as Kiran Jadhav is with us. So we'll be taking you through the next 30 minutes, which are the 30 stocks that are making news for today. Let's start with Vivek first. Vivek, Bharti, Airtel, a big large cap name looking to raise funds.
Well, a lot of news flow overnight as far as Bharti Airtel is concerned. The first thing that the company has done is they've gone ahead and formed a special committee, and the committee is mainly going to mull fundraising options. What will they do? Is it going to be equity? Is it going to be debt? And the other thing, what is the fundraising going to be used for? Is it going to be extinguishing of debt, or is it going to be for further capex? Other than that, more importantly, company is looking to monetize its stake in Bharti Infratel. Almost 32% stake is what they're looking at monetizing, and this is something that the market has been waiting for quite some time. Bharti Airtel at this point of time has given up some of the gains the stock has seen over the last 15-20 days.
Right, let's go across to Kunal Botra now. Kunal, you are identifying some trends in Tata Motors. There seemed to be a breakout on the daily charts.
Absolutely, Pankaj, and the stock is getting more resilient to the market mood, at least the volatility in the first half of the market so far, and I believe that that's a positive sign. Now, when you scan through some key indicator patterns, the stock has broken out of a bullish flag pattern on the daily charts. RSI breakout as well on the indicator front is what one can spot on the daily charts for Tata Motors, which I believe could have strong positive ramifications for the stock. Would suggest a buy with targets of at least 190 levels for Tata Motors.
Right, Jayesh, what's happening in CG Power? It's among one of the top gainers.
That's right, Pankaj. If you have a look at the counter, there was a block deal or a couple of block deals early morning. That was to the tune of about 35 lakh odd shares. And if you also have a look at the total trading volume, that has in fact now crossed significant levels, more than 7 times the 20-day average. And also if you have a look at the consensus target price of the analyst, that is anywhere between about 35 to 36% above the current market price. So a lot of positive traction seen for the counter.
Right, Dhanuka Agritech is the next stock that we are talking about. Yesterday, post-market hours, they gave out an announcement about the buyback of share. Buyback price is 550. The stock opened up higher, is still up about 2.8, 2.9%. Despite markets going down, the stock seemed to be outperforming. Siddharth, ICICI Prudential, there was a fundamental report from CLSA yesterday on the positive side. What are you picking up?
In fact, Pankaj, on that report, yesterday stock rallied substantially, and we did cover that report in detail on our channel. Today, you can see strength in stock, and why I'm saying despite stock being flat, you saw an opening which was negative, then there was intraday correction, and now we are seeing strong intraday bounce back in ICICI Pru Life. We are seeing 24% rise in open interest in future segment as of now. We are heading into a truncated expiry week, so most of this rollover, most of this built up might be a rollover and may not be visible in bar copy. Nevertheless, price action suggests that there are some traders who are creating fresh longs even at lower levels in this volatile market in this name.
Right, Kiran Jadhav is also with us. Kiran, you have a call on BEML?
Yeah, BEML basically has delivered a standard rally from 690 to 914.15 as a peak. This is a vertical move that we have received. However, we believe that at current levels one should be really cautious because of this big up move that has happened. We'll see some profit booking. However, the medium term investors should continue to hold on with a stop loss of 900 on day and closing basis.
Right, Vivek, what's happening with Infosys? There was some management changes. After that, the stock is down 2%.
Well, Pankaj, a lot of news flow as far as the IT sector is concerned. But first, let's look at what's happened to the management, upper management of Infosys. Airtel's global CFO, Nilanjan Roy, has now moved to Infosys and will now serve as the CFO of Infosys. And the current CFO, who was holding the position in the interim period, will now step back to his position. Jayesh Singrajka would now step back to his position of a deputy CFO. But more importantly, the entire IT pack is in focus today. Accenture came out with its numbers post-market hours yesterday, and even though Accenture managed to trim its guidance upwards toward the upper end of its guided range, what's actually happened is that the internals of the numbers, especially the BFSI segment growth, is something that has not really cheered the markets, on the back of which most of the IT stocks today are taking a bit of a tumble.
Right, Jayesh, HT Media, that's another stock which is in focus. Some news flow making the stock look in green.
That's right, Pankaj. In fact, there was some exchange announcement overnight which indicated a takeover. Now, you know what they're going to do is acquire 25% stake in Next MediaWorks for about 45 odd crores. And on the back of that news, the stock was up and buzzing, though it has come off from the day's high. But what additionally that they're going to do is make an open offer for the 26% additional stake in Next MediaWorks, and also they will be acquiring nearly 49% in New Radio. So, you know, on the back of that news, the stock was up but has come off from the day's high.
Let's talk about Saturn Credit Care. We spoke to the management this morning. There was a big bulk deal that happened where MIT Fund buys about 8.5 lakh shares. They bought at 228 rupees yesterday. That came in the bulk deal. The stock at a point of time was up 5%, but with markets going down, slightly coming off, nevertheless 3% higher. Volumes continue to be higher than averages. Of course, when I talk about volumes, I'm reducing the fact that there was a block deal which happened yesterday. Siddharth, Z Entertainment, the stock has been in news flow for all the wrong reasons, but what's happening in the stock?
Pankaj, this week has been nothing sort of entertaining when it comes to Z. Now Monday, what happened? There were very strong volumes. Stock went up. It breached some of its important resistances. And from technical perspective, it gave a price volume breakout. And what happened on Tuesday was complete 180-degree turn of event. Bank of America Merrill Lynch came with a negative report on Z Entertainment, that how company might be struggling from the cash flow perspective or funding perspective, and we saw a huge correction in counter. Now what is happening today? Along with market, stock is correcting. We are seeing formation of short positions. So shorting is continuing, and it is probably moving towards its strong support, which is around 430, which is still 24-25 points away from current levels.
Right. UPL is the next stock. The stock is down 3.5%. Kunal, what are the patterns suggesting?
So I think on the daily charts, the stock has confirmed a distribution pattern. Now it's interesting because in a market scenario like this, hardly you get more distribution patterns. The stock made a breakout on the upside, I think 4 or 5 days back, but that was more on weak indicator front, and now it's on verge of breaking its key supports. I believe that could be some you could see the stock going through some more selling pressure over the next 1 week odd. 700 and below is where I'm expecting that the stock should come back to over the next couple of days.
The next stock in focus is Torrent Pharma. Vivek, what's happening with Torrent Pharma?
Well, Pankaj, the main reason for most of the pharma companies to remain in focus the last couple of days has been some amount of pressure as far as US FDA is concerned. So now what Torrent Pharma has done is they've voluntarily recalled 2 lots of a drug that is used to treat hypertension, and the reason is the same as it was earlier for Aurobindo and other pharma companies even across the Chinese market. So there have been some traces of a carcinogen-like substance that mainly could cause some amount of cancer in the patient. This particular API was being manufactured by Hetero Labs, and which is why Torrent Pharma has gone in for some amount of a recall in this particular drug.
Let's stick with the pharma pack. Jayesh, Dr. Reddy's in focus.
That's right, Pankaj. Stock has been under some pressure, down about 1.5%. Now this is after we understand that Indivior is actually going to file a case in the US court which actually prohibits Dr. Reddy's to launch Suboxone in the US market. So on account of that, the stock has been under some pressure, broken just below the 2600 mark right now.
Let's talk about IOC as well. That's a stock which is in focus, down 5%, but it's a technical adjustment when we talk about this sort of a move coming in. It goes ex-dividend by about 6 odd rupees plus ex-buyback. So if you buy today, you would not be eligible in the list of buyback, and that's the reason why you're seeing this sort of a move coming in. One would say it's technical in nature, but nevertheless, volumes are high after this particular fall. Siddharth, M&M in focus. Again, a lot of fundamental analysts have been pushing this counter, but the stock seems to be on the negative side.
Well, yes, but then we have to look, Pankaj, from positional perspective. Firstly, there is some report related to tractor space also, and people are quite optimistic, and that's the reason some of the other names like Escorts are doing well. Now, M&M positionally has been doing really well. Some of the stocks have bounced back with market, but they are correcting as market is showing some correction. So M&M is also correcting, but look at the volumes. In first 2.5 hours of the trade, volumes have already surpassed, cash volume I'm talking about, have already surpassed previous day's volume, which were anyway high. And if it is such high volume with such strong built up, and if these were short positions, then stock should have actually corrected substantially. It's down by less than 1%. It seems that there is buying on dip which is happening in M&M, because Off late, it has breached some important resistances and stock positionally is in strong uptrend.
Right, that was of course the 15 stocks. So we've completed 15 out of the 30 stocks that we would want to tell you. We're taking a break. We have to do that. Coming back quickly, the other 15 stocks on the other side of this break. Hello and welcome back to Market Fatafat. Let's go to our next stock. Kiran Jadhav is now with us. Kiran, what's happening at Motherson Sumi? What's the call over there?
Motherson Sumi chart is pretty strong, and even the derivative data suggests so. We have got an open interest additions of around 2.5%. Along with that, the undercurrent is pretty strong. We have a small resistance between 125 and 177. So this.
Okay, I think there is an issue with that, but he has a hold with a stop loss of 165. Escorts is a stock slightly on the lower side today. Vivek, what's happening with Escorts?
Well, but do keep an eye out for Escorts. There's been an extremely interesting note as far as what Credit Suisse has come out with. So the trend around this election season has been the fact that most of the political parties have announced and have promised farm loan waivers, and this is something that Credit Suisse has done a study on. They believe that every time in the past when farm loan waivers have come about, tractor sales are something that has been on the radar and has increased quite significantly. On the back of that, they have a positive view on Escorts as well as M&M. Escorts has cooled off a little bit from the day's high, but still a stock to keep on your radar as far as Credit Suisse is concerned.
Jayesh, Indian Hume Pipe, that's another stock that is in focus right now, 3% higher. What's happening there?
That's right, Pankaj. In fact, they have received a letter of acceptance for construction work in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Now, this order is worth about 500 odd crores, and given that the company's market cap is about 1700 odd crores, it looks like quite significant. And on the back of this, the stock has been buzzing. In the morning session, it was up about 8.5%, but has come off from the day's high, currently holding up gains of about 3.5%.
Take Solution is the next stock that I want to highlight. A couple of days back, Axis Capital initiated coverage with a buy. Target price is 178, and they are saying that the company has taken a leap into growth forward, 1.7% higher right now, but for the last couple of days, it's been doing decently well. Volumes today are also looking decent. So that Tata Motors, or I guess it's Tata Motors DVR, what you're talking about?
Yes, firstly, a couple of points from fundamental aspect that we discussed yesterday also, that how Tata Motors has appointed BCG Group to revive and cut down the cost by $3.2 billion, which gave fillip to stock. But we are not seeing any major formation of long position as of now. And technically also, if you see, the swing highs for Tata Motors DVR is around 107, 108, Pankaj. So till the time stock doesn't go above that level, you won't say that the lower top, lower bottom formation which was continuing in Tata Motors or Tata Motors DVR is done. Today we are seeing some price action which is positive. Open interest built up is high. One would probably be compelled to read as a long position, but I would suggest wait and watch approach, because this stock has time and again given this false up move and have corrected further.
Right, Kunal, what's the view on Pidilite? I guess you have a bearish RSI divergent trend.
So yes, Pankaj, but the indication is not to go short on Pidilite, but because it's a very strong chart, the positional trends are extremely strong. The stock is almost very close to a 52-week high, and managed to probably hit that as well, I think, a couple of days back. So the trends are positive for Pidilite. For anyone who could have probably missed out on buying the stock in that fierce uptrend, I think that the stock, on the base of the short-term charts, RSI divergence, could come back to that 1100 mark, and I think that's a very strong support now for stock price. So I think at 1100 it could be a very good buy for Pidilite Industries.
The next stock is Coal India, about interim dividend. Vivek, what's happening there?
Well, a significantly higher dividend is what you expect from most of the PSU companies, and Coal India has not disappointed investors this time around as well. They are looking to pay a dividend of almost ₹7.25, and this is just the interim dividend per share. Now, more importantly, the final date for the interim dividend is December 31st. So that is the date you need to watch out for. Coal India is in focus. Stock again has cooled off quite a bit from where it opened at.
Right, Jayesh, Time Technoplast, that's a stock which is up 3%.
That's right, Pankaj, once again on the back of an order win. Now, multiple EPC contractors have, awarded orders to the tune of about 150 odd crores. So on the back of that, the stock has been buzzing. It was up about 7%, currently holding gains of about 6%. 3%. Also, if you have a look at the volumes are significantly higher at about 14 times the 30-day average. Valuations are also looking supportive because it trades at about 10 times forward earnings as compared to the historical average of about 17 times. So that's the reason that the stock has been buzzing.
Piramal Enterprises is the next one we want to focus on. In the morning, the stock was up about to 2350 levels. Right now, also doing well, 0.5% higher. They have placed NCD up to about 2625 crores in 4 different series. The rates are between 9.5 to 9.7% across series. I think they are valid for about 12 odd months, which means the maturity happens next December. MCX is the next one to focus on. Siddharth has his eyes on MCX.
Absolutely, Pankaj. Here to stock time and again have given this hope that worst is behind and stock bounces back, breaches some resistances, and again stock falls. Now we are seeing consolidation with negative buyers again in MCX. We are seeing short built up in future segment, and at the same time, if you look at technical momentum oscillators like RSI and to an extent stochastic, they have gone negative or turned negative, which is not a good news for stock. Watch out for key support levels which are around 710, 700 odd levels.
Right, let's go across to Kiran Jadhav now. He has Tata Communication on his radar. Kiran, is it a buy or sell?
It's a hold basically. For the last 2 series, November and December, it has been trading in a range of 510 and 550. The breakout level would be 550, which it had reached yesterday. But with the markets coming down today, the stock has re-entered its consolidation zone. So we believe that the next time it moves above 550, we'll see a sharp rise to 590, 600 levels. For now, hold with a stop loss of 500.
Vivek, Adani Ports, that's the stock that you are focusing on.
Well, that's right. Adani Ports recently had an analyst meet. And most of the brokers who actually went for this particular analyst meet came back quite enthused about the prospects of the company. What they're saying, and especially JP Morgan, they've maintained the overweight stance, targeted close to 425 rupees a share. What they're saying is that the company is now riding the transshipment wave, where you're actually seeing a complete takeover by shipment companies. The other thing that they're saying is that the container cargo forecast, they're forecasting a growth of almost 17% CAGR over the next 3 to 5 years, and which is why most of the brokerages who came back are actually quite positive, and most of them have a buy or an overweight rating.
Jayesh, TCS, that's a stock which Nomura has a reduced rating on. The stock is down 1%. What's happening?
That's right, Pankaj. If you have a look at the note, what Nomura has in fact released, they have reduced rating with a target price of just above 1800 rupees on the stock. A few reasons that they have pointed out for this is that they expect that growth will normalize from the current double-digit number that we have, primarily on account of tempered growth from their important segments like manufacturing, telecom and BFSI. Also, as far as the rupee movement is concerned, they believe that the INR margin will in fact, the benefit will be transitory, and on the back of valuations also currently trading at about 22 times 1 year forward, it looks tad bit on the expensive side, and hence the reduced rating.
The number 29 stock is SBI. The stock is flat. There is no real movement over there. ICICI Securities has released a report on SBI saying that India's largest bank, SBI, is turning the corner. This is profit and return ratio. They maintain their buy. 400 is their target price for SBI. However, the stock probably with the market conditions today is absolutely flat. Siddharth, the last stock for today's market Fatafat, Maruti.
Well, that company got a Car of the Year award at Auto Car Show, which was covered by a channel. But that's not compensating, Pankaj, to the declining sales number, and stock is under pressure. In fact, recent upside in Maruti was not backed by formation of long position. And last 2 trading sessions, including today's, we are seeing correction on back of formation of short position. That's a sign of a weak stock. Volumes are very high, which means that stock may remain under pressure for some more time to come.
Right, Siddharth. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. That is the market Fatafat today. 30 stocks in focus. Thanks, Vivek, Jayesh, Kunal, Kiran Jadhav, and Siddharth Pambre. Completely out of time on markets Fatafat. Taking a break. Markets at noon on the other side.